Hey guys, Brian here, how's it going? Today we're going to take a look at a new barrel band from Ranger Point Precision. I've got the 3 iterations of the barrel band in front of me. This first one here had an open bottom, as you can see, and it did the job, but they wanted to do some improvements. The next version was a closed loop model, but people ran into problems where there's so many variances in barrel thickness between the different brands. They would have had to come up with, 3 or 4 different models of this to fit all the different ones. And especially with like this 336W, there were a lot of times the barrels on these were thicker and it'd be a very hard time finding one of these to fit. So what they did is they have developed a new barrel band. This barrel band has a screw hole in the top. So this allows you to fit it to the gun, and then you have a set screw, just like the tensioning screws on the handguard. You use this set screw to tension the barrel band to the barrel, and that will allow you to fit a wide variety of barrels from very narrow to very thick. So it's a do-all barrel band for all the different models out there between the different brands. It's something they could do to produce just one barrel band and get the job done. So let me show you how easy it is to install. First off, you want to make sure your rifle is clear. This one is. So the first thing we're going to do is, actually on mine, since it's threaded, I know my thread protector is just a hair big, so that's going to come off because it will not let this front barrel band slide over. So I'm going to remove the screw from the front barrel band. Now the reason I did this screw first, on my particular rifle, the magazine end cap is kind of stuck in the mag tube. So I'm going to use a punch. I'm going to push this screw out now that it's loose. Once it's out, I can slip this barrel band off the gun. Next, I'm going to loosen the screw for the barrel band on the handguard. And now, again, I'm going to use a punch to push this out. And again, my mag tube is still under pressure because I have not released that spring. So I'm going to hold it in place while I push the screw out and get that screw out of the way. And now I'm going to release the pressure on my mag tube. There's my spring. Follower is still going to be retained back here at the back of the handguard. And now I'll go ahead and remove the screw and my mag tube end cap. Just has a burr on the inside that I need to take care of. Now that that's loose, I'm going to take a hammer and just slowly work my barrel band off, because on these they were very, very tight. You don't want to tap it too far in one direction. You want to do a little bit at a time in each direction, otherwise you will risk marring your finish. Okay, should be loose enough now. I can wiggle it back and forth and take it off. I'm going to flip it over so it will go over the front sight. And now I'm going to remove the handguard. And like I said, follower was still retained right there in the receiver. Okay, now that the rifle is disassembled, we are going to put this new barrel band on. And as I mentioned before, there's a tensioning screw on the top, so that's where the top of this goes, is on top of the barrel. Not upside down, it won't fit in the handguard that way, so threaded portion at the top. Now, again, just like I did the other barrel band, I'm going to have to put this on, flip it over to get past my front sight, and then flip it back. Now we want to make sure we are lined up with the groove in the barrel. That's where this set screw is going to go. So you're going to slide it into the barrel band, slide it across, and use the supplied Allen to tighten it down. And now guys, if you're doing this as a permanent installation, you're going to want to put some blue Loctite on this. I do this a lot, changing rifles around, so I am not going to put blue Loctite on here. As you can see, there is some slop left in this. Do not over tighten this screw, because if you do that, you're going to strip something out. There's meant to be some slop to allow for different size barrels, and that's where the tensioning screw comes in later on. So next up, we are going to get everything back as it should be. So I'm going to install my handguard, just stick it on the bottom. We're going to line it up. And this W model has always been very snug. I got that in place. And now what you're going to want to do is eyeball where the holes are for the barrel band with the handguard. And you want to get everything lined up. So you have to shift things around a little bit to get them lined up. We're going to lay it down and we're going to install the supplied mounting screw. Just get it close. Don't torque it down yet. Then we're going to flip the rifle over. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to install my mag tube, and you want to leave those mounting screws on the sides a little bit loose because they will pinch to the mag tube through the barrel band. So, drop that back in place. Get everything lined up where it goes. And I am going to slip my front barrel band on now, just to help hold everything in place. And be cognizant of which side is the barrel, which side is the mag tube. Generally, one is going to be a little bit bigger than the other. On mine, the bottom is larger than the top, so the mag tube is larger than the barrel. So get that lined up where it goes, but don't install a screw yet because you still got to get your follower through there. And your spring. As you can hear, there's a bit of pressure in mine. Okay, now that I've got that spring compressed, I'm going to reinstall the end cap. It only goes one way, depending on your rifle. The screw has threads in one position, and the end cap needs to match that. So, I've got mine in. Remember, this is under pressure, so you need to maintain constant pressure on it while you're working with it. And yes, mine looks very rough. This rifle has been very heavily used. It is one of my first lever action rifles. I'm not kind to it. Make sure everything is lined up, that your mag tube groove is lined up with the barrel groove, and that the mag tube is turned properly. If it's slightly canted, the screw is not going to want to go through there. It is a pretty snug fit. Once you get it lined up, as you can see, it drops right into place. And snug that down. And I will go ahead and reinstall my thread protector. We're almost done here, guys. Now I'm going to install the top screw on the barrel band. And again, you'd want to use some blue Loctite on this, guys, if you're doing this to keep it semi-permanent. And once I snug that down, now you can see this is nice and solid since I have the screw installed on the top. Only slop I have is at the back where I need to install the rear tensioning screws. So I'm going to flip the rifle over since these are inverted and get these small screws and get them installed. Now guys, this is somewhere you want to go easy. You don't want to overdo this. You just want to snug them up. And there are two on the rear of the rifle. You can use an actual screwdriver or you can use the supplied Allen key. With the supplied Allen key, you're a lot less likely to over torque this because again, it is aluminum and you can strip it out if you put too much torque on it. So just go slow and steady. Also, if you use something like one of these bits from my screwdriver set, the shoulder on the bit is going to be very close. And as you can see here, I have marred the paint a little bit on here, the Cerakote, because the corner of that shoulder did catch when I was screwing it in. So that's where finishing it off with one of these Allen keys is a lot smarter move if you want to worry about the finish on your handguard. So that thing is rock solid. You can also install the two tensioning screws up front here if you'd like, but I have no need because with this barrel band, everything is locked down. It's not going anywhere. So it is good to go. I think it looks really good. And again, this new barrel band allows you to fit it to a variety of rifles from the R92s to these different Marlins because there are so many different Marlins out there over the years. The variances can be pretty great. And especially with the W line, this was kind of the bottom of the barrel line. So mine happens to be a fairly thin barrel. There are some out there that are very, very thick and it's very difficult to find a barrel band to fit. So I think overall, this is going to work really well. It's a very solid mount. When you get one in hand, you will realize how solid this thing is. It's bomb proof. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one.